Video games bring us into wonderful realities that are very different from ours. They allow us to perform skills or fight enemies that we couldn't even imagine in our wildest dreams. The great thing about gaming is that there are tons of options across many genres, always offering something for everyone. The third-person shooter is one of the most popular genres, with quite a few games that can be considered all-time greats. While shooting games are generally very popular, there is one major difference between first-person and third-person vision. First-person shooters show the camera as if you were the actual character, and third-person shooters show the camera hovering slightly behind the character's shoulder. The third-person genre has been an integral part of video game history, but has seen huge improvements. These are the best third-person games the genre has to offer. Updated December 18, 2022. It's an impossible task to rate all the third-person shooters you need to play, but that won't stop us from trying. We've updated this list of important games to include a few more entries describing must-play third-person shooters. 20. Destroy All Humans 2 Rejected. Ever wanted to experience an alien invasion, but instead of fighting aliens, you played as one? Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed is a remake of the same original P2 game and the first entry in the series since 2008. The remake features the same story after the alien Furon Crypto. Crypto has a small arsenal of 9 weapons in his quest for world domination. Everything from your standard disintegrator ray to something less violent in the frill of goggles. Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed has enough firepower to torment humans. 19. MAFIA. The original MAFIA game in 2002 was the first evidence of what this series would look like. Set in 1930, MAFIA follows the rise and fall of Tommy Angelo, a taxi driver turned gangster. Although there have been many comparisons to Grand Theft Auto, MAFIA has managed to establish itself as a successful series in this genre. MAFIA received huge praise for the story and presented one of the greatest cities to explore at the time. The gameplay is similar to Grand Theft Auto and most other third-person shooters, but it's considered one of the best games of 2002. Now that a remake is available, there's no reason not to try it. 18. Uncharted 2. Among Thieves. Uncharted 2. Among Thieves takes place 2 years after the first game in the series, and is considered by many to be the best in the series. The story continues to follow Nathan Drake as he searches for the Stone of Sintamani and Shambhala along with Chloe Fraser and Elena Fisher. Gameplay follows the same formula as its predecessor, with Drake being able to jump, climb, and hide behind cover in firefights. Shooting mechanics have been significantly improved since the first game and feature competitive and cooperative multiplayer. Uncharted 2. Among Thieves received critical acclaim and numerous Game of the Year awards in 2009. To this day, Uncharted 2. Among Thieves is still regarded as one of the greatest PS3 games of all time. 17. Alan Wake. Developed by Remedy, Alan Wake is not your typical third-person shooter. While there are some gunfights involved, Remedy's 2010 classic is more of a psychological thriller that can be compared to the hit TV show The X-Files. The game follows best-selling author Alan Wake as he tries to solve the mystery of his wife's disappearance, with the kicker being that the events of the game are eerily similar to those of his best-selling novel. As you explore the small town of Bright Falls, Washington, you meet several people who are being corrupted by a mysterious darkness. Alan Wake features traditional firefights with standard melee weapons and a special torch that is also used to destroy darkness. A remastered version of the game released in 2021 with updated graphics and improved controls for a better experience. 16. Star Wars. Battlefront 2. For more than 4 decades, Star Wars has remained one of the biggest and most popular items in pop culture. Humans pretended to wield lightsabers, use the Force, and speak backwards like Yoda. There have been many iconic Star Wars video games for fans of all genres, including one of Star Wars' best shooters, Battlefront 2. Despite the negative attention given to microtransactions and overgrinding, Battlefront 2 is the pinnacle of shooters set in the American Star Wars universe. By diving into one of 14 different Star Wars settings, players fight their way not only to victory, but also to more powerful characters. If you do well in battle, you'll have the option to temporarily upgrade your character to become a special Star Wars fighter, Like Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader, these characters have the power to drastically turn the tide of any battle. Although the game received a lot of negative reviews for some business decisions, Star Wars Battlefront 2 offers excellent shooter and deservedly belongs at the top of its genre. 15. Dead Space. During the PS3 Xbox 360 era, some top horror shooters were released, including Dead Space, developed by Visceral Games and published by EA. Dead Space is a blend of sci-fi and horror elements, resulting in one of the best third-person shooter experiences. Set in the distant future, Dead Space follows Isaac Clarke, an engineer battling a horde of mutated enemies known as necromorphs aboard the USG ship Ishimura. While Clarke must fight these undead enemies, the main adversaries are a group of fanatics who follow the religion of Unitology. They believe that Earth's government has suppressed an alien artifact called the Creator and want to use this artifact to invoke some sort of unification process. Dead Space is considered one of the greatest games of all time for its shooting and the right mix of sci-fi and horror elements. 14. The Rise of Tomb Raider. The sequel to the 2013 Tomb Raider game, Rise of the Tomb Raider followed Lara Croft on her journey to discover the city of Kittage. Along the way, Croft battles the militaristic organization Trinity, which is vying for the city's immortality. Rise of the Tomb Raider has managed to take the story of Croft to the next level while providing great gameplay. Its success led to a sequel in 2018 in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Many of the features in Rise of the Tomb Raider were already present in the previous game, but improved in various ways. In an effort to make the game more like a survival game, Crystal Dynamics expanded the hunting system, but this time it also made it easier to level up Croft's skills and abilities. The number of quick events has also been reduced, reviving the Siberian world around her. 13. Tom Clancy's Division. Fans of competitive shooters are quite familiar with the Tom Clancy games. The Rainbow Six series has forever remained a staple of that community, so there was a lot of anticipation when Ubisoft announced a live service Tom Clancy experience. In snowy New York City, a deadly virus has spread throughout the city and the streets have become a war zone. Known as green poison, the virus was transmitted through money manipulation. So obviously, while everyone was out shopping on Black Friday, it was the boiling point for the virus to explode and run amok throughout the city. Although Tom Clancy's The Division plays like a third-person shooter, it also mixes RPG elements. In what many would describe as spongy enemies, the enemies you fight in The Division have larger health bars that require a little more firepower to defeat. On the multiplayer side, The Division featured several more difficult raids and missions in areas called Dark Zones, while also adding more online modes such as Survival, Resistance, and Skirmish. 12. Check. If entertainment has taught us one thing about governments, it's that they can't be trusted. Control, developed by Remedy Entertainment, follows the new head of the Federal Bureau of Control, Jesse Faden. This highly secretive American agency studies extraordinary phenomena, but in the process unleashes a deadly alien enemy called the Hiss. On the brink of universal destruction, Faden must acquire new abilities from objects of power to defeat the Hiss. Faden wields a special pistol that can be modified throughout the game to have different uses and shapes. For example, in charge form, Faden's weapon acts like a rocket launcher that deals explosive damage, while in Pierce form, his weapon mirrors a sniper rifle. In addition to the unique firefight, Faden gains power item psychic abilities that allow her to lift objects and throw them at her enemies. 11. I Come Back. One of the few next-gen exclusives, Returnal is a third-person roguelike experience that follows astronaut Selene Vassos as she searches for a mysterious signal on the planet Atropos. In addition to exploring an unknown alien world, Vassos is trapped in a time loop, resurrecting each time after her death at some point to start afresh. Returnal is divided into two main halves, each of which has 3 biomes to complete. If Vassos dies before completing a full half, she will respawn at the start and she will have to fight her way through the biomes again. Vassos has a huge arsenal at his disposal, from a standard pistol to the Electropylon driver, considered the deadliest weapon in the game. 10. Red Dead Redemption 2. For anyone looking to scratch that Western itch, look no further than Red Dead Redemption 2. The sequel to Red Dead Redemption, This game is actually a prequel in terms of storyline as players control the outlaw, Arthur Morgan, while the overall goal is to complete the required story missions. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a borderline western sandbox that you can really get lost in. You can ride your horse through the wilderness, fish in a relaxing lake, or hunt legendary beasts. Similar to Grand Theft Auto, the shooting mechanics of Red Dead Redemption 2 may not appeal to all players, but the realism of the game and its environment make it a special game. Rockstar invests a lot of time and energy in delivering an unparalleled and truly authentic Western experience. 9. Overdrive at Sunset. Developed by the incredible Insomniac Games, Sunset Overdrive was one of Microsoft's first major Xbox One exclusives. Set in an apocalyptic setting, Sunset Overdrive has you tasked with stopping newly transformed mutants in Sunset City. The town's population has turned into terrifying mutants after drinking Fizco's energy drink. You control a former Fizco employee as you battle the horde of mutants and corporate bureaucrats. Sunset Overdrive has received praise for its goofy, comedic storytelling, and addictive gameplay, along with a wide range of weapons. Sunset Overdrive features an exciting traversal system that lets you grind on rails or bounce off objects as you move through the city. Sunset Overdrive ended on a cliffhanger, but no sequel has been announced since its release in 2014. 8th, Hitman World of Assassination Trilogy. Since 2000, IO Interactive has built one of the best-known shooter series with Hitman. Recently, the series has seen a resurgence in popularity with the World of Assassination Trilogy, which debuted in 2016. The first game in the trilogy was, surprisingly, episodic, even though the next two were fully launched titles. Unsurprisingly, Hitman's main goal is to eliminate targets assigned to Agent 47. There are several ways to direct your target, using either firearms or objects found in the environment. There aren't many rules when it comes to killing targets, just to be as silent and undetectable as possible. After completing each game in the trilogy, you have the option to carry over your progress to the next game to continue your own game. 7. The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog's The Last of Us was an emotional roller coaster that left people speechless about what happened with Ellie and Joel. The game was a masterpiece in its narrative, although it struggled a bit gameplay-wise. Naughty Dog's sequel continued the incredible storytelling but also drastically improved its mechanics to deliver a truly unforgettable experience. The Last of Us Part 2 saw huge improvements in general aiming and shooting functionality, as well as a deeper leveling system. Naughty Dog has refined the cover system and introduced more variety in the types of enemies Ellie and Abby encounter. Many systems in The Last of Us Part 2 are just existing systems improved upon the original, such as stealth combat. Coming out of the shadows and making a minimum of noise is the key to your success and your survival. 6. 14 Days. When talking about games that changed the history of the industry, Fortnite should be included. Epic Games' Battle Royale has completely elevated the niche multiplayer genre to astronomical heights. Fortnite's multiplayer mode forced other traditional multiplayer games like Call of Duty to reinvent their multiplayer strategy while opening the door to other Battle Royale games like Apex Legends. Despite cartoonish animation that might put some players off, Fortnite offers amazing gameplay. It featured a wide range of weapons, strong bullet firing mechanics, and building mechanics never seen before in a shooter. Fortnite continued to grow in popularity with the rise of online streaming and the incorporation of many pop culture properties. 5. Mass Effect 2. BioWare's space adventure Mass Effect has received much acclaim and critical acclaim. The storytelling was out of this world, pun intended, and the characters became instant classics. But it wasn't a complete and utter success, as the combat and mobility were criticized. Fortunately, BioWare has gathered all the feedback and made the necessary changes to make Mass Effect 2 one of the best third-person shooters ever. The developer has improved the aiming and firing mechanics by switching from infinite ammo with an overheat component to normal projectiles and magazines. Simply adjusting to standard ammo consumption was enough to properly even out the combat pace of the game. BioWare also fixed the cover system, as Commander Shepard often got stuck in corners unseen in the original. Mass Effect 2 is considered by some to be their favorite game of all time, and the best of the trilogy. with the changes in combat being a big factor. 4. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, arguably one of the best game developers. Insomniac Games has created two brave and awesome characters that have stood the test of time. Ratchet and Clank. Since 2002, this odd pair of lombax and robots have saved the universe countless times, most notably from Dr. Nefarious. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart is the latest in the series, and some consider it the first true next-gen title on PlayStation 5. Rift Apart offers a wide range of explosive weapons to express your creativity in eliminating enemy forces, from water sprinklers creating overgrown vegetation to simple electric shocks. The possibilities are almost limitless. Along with the vast arsenal, Rift Apart also introduces the tether, giving Ratchet and Rivet the ability to travel through pierced portals of reality. 3. Resident Evil 4. Depending on how you feel about horror, this game might pass you by. Resident Evil is one of the most iconic franchises in video game history, with the fourth installment being considered perhaps the best. Originally released on the GameCube in 2005, Special Agent Leon S. Kennedy must find and rescue the president's daughter from a cult in Europe. Resident Evil 4 was groundbreaking for the series, as the game increased the action and firefights compared to previous games which focused more on survival. Capcom has also implemented specific enemy responses depending on where you fire them. For example, if you shoot them in the foot, they lose their balance and fall. Capcom has also added different areas where you can interact with the environment to access other areas or escape villagers. These mechanics helped influence many other third-person shooters as the genre continued to grow. 2. Grand Auto Theft 5. It seems like just yesterday when Grand Theft Auto 5 was released for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as well as PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, PC2. Suffice to say, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the most successful games of all time and sits atop Mount Rushmore as a third-person shooter. While Rockstar's shooting mechanics might not be for everyone, there's an auto-aim feature to help with shooting. Grand Theft Auto as a series has pushed the boundaries of third-person shooters and helped the genre grow in several ways. Whether it's the storyline, the choice of weapons, or the ability to do pretty much anything you want, Grand Theft Auto 5 has reigned supreme since its release in 2013. Due to the size of the map, Rockstar has introduced new types of vehicles, like an airplane, to traverse Los Santos faster. Each of the three characters embody Michael Santa, Trevor Phillips, and Franklin Clinton, and have their own unique abilities to enhance gameplay. Also categorized as a sandbox game, Grand Theft Auto had a huge impact on the gaming industry in general, but third-person shooters in particular. 1. Weapons of War. If there was a game that could be pulled from the Xbox 360 generation to highlight the console, many fans would choose Gears of War. Inspired by gameplay elements from Resident Evil 4, Gears of War follows the efforts of Marcus Phoenix and the coalition of ordered governments to save humanity from the Locusts. Since the original's launch in 2006, the series has spawned a total of 5 mainline titles and 3 spin-offs. Gears of War was groundbreaking by introducing a top-notch cover system that allowed you to blind fire from cover, but in a way some may have never experienced this before in gaming. The original Gears of War had a heavy focus on the horror element and was heavily influenced by the Resident Evil series. Subsequent episodes started leaning more towards general action, although fighting an alien horde is terrifying enough on its own. Gears of War does not have a standard health meter. On the other hand, the skull logo gets more bloodied as you take more damage. Gears of War also introduced one of the most powerful weapons in games with the Lancer with its dual machine gun and chainsaw components. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and support my channel.